I've been taking my time, taking all of your time, taking all of your time.
Hey, my trendies, trendsetters, and my trendy tribe. Mic check, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Let me know if you can hear me. Happy Friday. And make sure y'all can hear me first. I don't want to assume. I do not want to assume. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay. Hey, Bonnie, Miss Lady One, we're back. Bonnie was number one with the like. Thank you, Bonnie. Hey, Drea XO in the UK, number 6. Hey, Succeeding. Thank you. I did. Well, I saw your message. I responded. Hey, Angela, American born, number 11. And we're back, Honey Green. Hey, Ann Green, Georgia Leo, Cat, Shan, my legal eagle and part of the Mod Squad. Mima of 4 coming in at number 13. Sound check Annette, number 15 in the bushes. Hi, Sharon Godbolt. Welcome in, welcome in. Hey, VG, Matthew Whittington. Happy Friday. Elisa Triplet, Miami J. Hey, VG. My sweet sis 41 Fit is here. Part of the Mod Squad, and she's an awesome content creator. You want to be uplifted? That's where you need to be. Hey, CC. Okay, and then thank you for being a member for 9 months, Dr. Minnie. I appreciate it. Hey, Netta. And did I say hey to Elisa? I'll say it again. Hey, Elisa. All right. So, only thing I'll say before we get started, 2 things. One, we looked at Kayla Bumpus's testimony in the YSL trial. She didn't know she was going to be called. It was crazy. It was a little bit of a S show. And then we looked at her live after she finished testifying. And y'all go watch it, because I can't even give you enough context to make it make sense. Just go watch it. We did it today. Also, as you see on the screen, this is my store. I am an artist. And if you wouldn't mind checking out my store at some time, trendingatsomepoint.com, I would really appreciate it. And I thank y'all so much that have already shot with me and left feedback and everything. Right, Bonnie? Child. Bonnie. Okay, Shan says she on her small phone. She can't do individual greetings. Right. Yeah. I'm not saying it was a trial testimony. That's not what I meant to say. I'm just saying go back and watch it is what I mean to say. It wasn't part of the no. I definitely understand. Y'all, you just gotta go watch it to understand. Okay. Mayor, Tiffany Henyard, because apparently she's the mayor for now. Let's get started. So first of all, we're gonna look at the articles first, and then I do have videos for y'all. Everything is going on. Let's start with what came out on July 29th, 2024. Let me make this smaller. What do I want to do? Make it smaller. There we go. So I think I have this in two different articles because sometimes if one article misses something, we can catch it in the next article. So although it might be a repetitive topic, I just want to go through it just to make sure. So let's start off with Keith Freeman. I put top henchman. They say top aide. Was fired, and Keith Freeman, he's under investigation financially for I think like awarding himself contracts. Oh no, he's under investigation financially because he claimed bankruptcy, but his other checking accounts say otherwise. He tried to hide it in a not very. It wasn't that great in how you just don't try to hide it. But you hang with Henyard. What do we expect? So this says Keith Freeman served as Tiffany Henyard's senior advisor in Thornton Township, village administrator in Dolton. Embattled South suburban politician Tiffany Henyard has fired her top aide in at least one of the governments she runs. It comes as speculation has swirled about whether federal prosecutors are pressuring Keith Freeman into cooperating in their ongoing investigation of Henyard's leadership. Keith Freeman served as Henyard's senior advisor in Thornton Township and village administrator in Dolton. Records obtained by WGN show Freeman was fired from the township job on July 9th. And I know Succeeding and probably somebody else, y'all had told me that he was fired. It says Freeman denied being fired and denied cooperating with federal investigators in a text message to WGN. However, human resource records obtained via a Freedom of Information Act request shows 0 hours worked for Freeman for much of the month of June and into July. He received a written warning about chronic absenteeism on June 14th, with an unidentified administrator writing, "I'm asking for better communication of your whereabouts and more time spent at the township." Henyard has frequently blurred the lines of the two governments she runs with employees such as Freeman, tasked with completing work for both Dolton and Thornton Township. The FBI served wide-ranging subpoenas targeting Henyard and her allies in April, days after prosecutors charged Freeman with bankruptcy fraud for failing to report his income from Dolton. Still, Henyard kept Freeman on both government payrolls until now. Emails obtained by WGN show Henyard's other top lieutenants in Thornton Township building their own case to fire Freeman. Freeman emailed an administrator requesting a leave of absence to care for an ill family member on June 21st. The HR manager responded by providing Freeman with Family and Medical Leave Act, or FMLA, paperwork and a deadline to apply by July 6th. A subsequent message from the township's HR manager said Freeman did not return the paperwork by the deadline. Due to the high-ranking position that you hold at the township, this type of misconduct cannot be tolerated, read Freeman's termination letter dated July 9th. Your misconduct is a detriment to the smooth functioning of the township's operations. Despite the termination, Village Financial Officer Robert Hunt granted Freeman an undisclosed monthly stipend in July. WGN has spent more than a year documenting Henyard's self-promotion and lavish spending of government money and resources on everything from travel to unregistered cancer charity in her name. Freeman is apparently still technically the village administrator in Dolton, according to one trustee who said he's heard rumblings that Freeman may lose that position as well, but has seen nothing official. There appears to be a severing of ties going on between Tiffany and Keith, but nothing from the mayor's office has come out saying he's terminated, said trustee Jason House, who announced he's challenging Henyard for mayor in the 2025 election. Freeman pled not guilty to the bankruptcy fraud charge. Henyard's publicist did not respond to multiple requests for a comment about Freeman's employment status. Okay, so here's the termination letter. Tiffany tried to fire him from all his jobs, but rumor has it he's the whistleblower. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised that he's the whistleblower. They probably are putting a lot of pressure on him. Okay, I'm trying to get it so y'all can kind of see it. Okay, so this is it's trustee Gerald Jerry Jones, Darlene Gray Everett, Christopher D. Gonzalez, Carmen Carlisle, and clerk Loretta Wells, and Gary Pepe Dupuy, highway commissioner. This letter is dated July 9th. It says via email and standard delivery, Keith Freeman, and it's regarding dismissal from employment. It says, Dear Mr. Freeman, on June 21st, 2024, you were issued a written reprimand detailing your failure to consistently show up to work and your failure to notify your supervisor as to your whereabouts. After the issuance of the written reprimand, you requested information regarding taking a family medical leave either for yourself or for your wife's serious health condition. The township provided that information to you and gave you a deadline of July 6th, 2024 to submit a completed FMLA form with a certification from your healthcare provider. Unfortunately, that deadline has passed without the township receiving any FMLA documentation from you. After June 21st, 2024, your attendance has not improved and you have not kept your supervisor informed as to your whereabouts. Due to the high-ranking position that you hold at the township, this type of misconduct cannot be tolerated. Your misconduct is a detriment to the smooth functioning of the township's operations. Accordingly, I have no alternative but to end your employment with the township effective immediately. Accordingly, your last day of employment will be today, July 9th, 2024. You must return any and all township property, such as IDs, keys, key card, fobs, and any other property. Please contact Keith Price to arrange for the drop-off of these materials. Under a separate letter, you will receive information regarding your COBRA rights and any other post-employment benefits you may be entitled to. Sincerely, the HR department. So there's his termination letter. So like y'all said, one of two, and like the article said, he's at risk of the second one. So this one's the township. The other one, I would guess, be the city of Dolton or whatever. So we'll wait to see on that one. Then, so this came out, like I said, July 29th, I believe I said. Let me get this back to normal size. Okay, so that article came out July 29th. Then we have August 1st. If y'all recall, last time we were here, there was also a complaint written to the Attorney General about how oh, wait, this is still about him being fired. Let me see if there's anything else. WGN did a good job. Hold on one second. Yeah, okay, no. I think they're just kind of reiterating. Let's keep it moving. Oh, we're going to get there to the Attorney General. I'm skipping ahead. So let's go to August 5th. This is updated August 6th. Dolton trustees, Henyard mismanagement may lead to layoffs. Designs and Decor said, break it down for me. Oh, thank you, Designs and Decor. I appreciate it. How have you been? Hey, Miss Lady One. Your last day is today, Miss Lady One. Yes. Oh, Shan said he couldn't tell her he was at the FBI office and grand jury testifying. Shan, I know I highlighted your comment, but I really just read it. That's hilarious. That's where his absence has been. That's true. I've been rolling on you. That's why I couldn't come to work. That's so true. Okay. August 5th, Dolton trustees, Henyard's mismanagement may lead to layoffs. So, Lord, I'm just going to read it. 3 trustees from the village of Dolton called a special meeting on Monday night to try and keep the village running as they deal with embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Trustees who do not support Henyard said she would not allow them to put items on the regular meeting agenda, so they set their own meeting to start before hers. The 2 contentious meetings were held back-to-back, starting at 6:15 p.m. at Village Hall. Trustees said Dolton is facing a financial disaster and they blame Henyard for overspending and mismanagement. There's no more money. Anything that we can sell, we need to sell it. If you want to get outside, we can sell you too, Trustee Kiana Belcher said. Wow, okay. During Monday's first meeting, Belcher said the financial situation in the village is so dire that she doesn't know if Dolton will be able to make payroll by the end of next month. And we are going to look at Lightfoot'S presentation. During Monday's first meeting, Belcher said the financial situation in the Board of Trustees approved a credit card spending freeze, allowing only the Director of Administrative Services to use the village credit card for expenses approved by the board. One of the expenditures the board said they never approved was the 4 SUVs that make up Mayor Henyard's police security detail, which has already cost the village $250,000. Some trustees want to return the vehicle so they don't have to pay any more, but the decision will now come at a later date. So are those SUVs separate from the ones that got repoed? Because they did get some. I thought that were repoed. It says they are also considering selling a building the village owns that has a police department sign on it, but it's never actually been converted to a police department. You know, you throw a lot of things up here that don't be true, Henyard said before she was interrupted. It was one of many disruptions during the meeting. When Henyard entered the meeting, everyone was made to clear the room and come back in through metal detectors. Officers also removed at least 2 people from the crowd during the course of the meeting. The Board of Trustees also approved a handful of layoffs when they came back from a closed session because of the village's financial circumstances. It's unfortunate, but we have to make these decisions so we can make payroll, Trustee Brittany Norwood said. The vote for layoffs was 4-1, and it included placing Deputy Police Chief Lewis Lacey on administrative leave. Lacey, who was accused of doing the mayor's bidding, declined to comment on Monday night's vote. The mayor's top aide, Keith Freeman, was not at the meeting, but Henyard said he was fired. Last month, Henyard fired him from Thornton Township, the other government she runs, but the trustees say they won't allow the firing to happen because they say Freeman is doing the village's work and they now consider him to be a whistleblower. There's what Shan said. The trustees told WGN TV that firing a whistleblower sets them up for another lawsuit and the village can't afford it. More news is expected out of Dolton this week as former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is expected to present some of her financial findings into her investigation into Henyard. Okay, so then we move to August 6th. Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's control wanes as trustees halt spending on village credit cards. She had her own like bodyguard detail. She was using the police like her bodyguard, her personal security. Bonnie. Freeman has been giving documents to Lori and assisting. Oh, okay. I wouldn't be surprised. I could believe it. Okay, let me see. I'm trying to see what they say something different. Yep. Okay, this is about, it has some other stuff in there. Okay, so this says, Mayor Tiffany Henyard's grip on the reins of Dolton is loosening after the village's Board of Trustees voted to freeze spending on village credit cards Monday night. That was the main goal, to cut off her access and other operators in the municipality, said Bert Odelson, one of the attorneys representing the Village of Dolton's Board of Trustees. According to attorneys representing Dolton's trustees, moving forward, expenses on village credit cards will be limited to those approved by the board of the village's Director of Administrative Services to make. It says this village has so many people with so many credit cards, they're swiping like crazy, and that's why it had to come to a complete halt, said Michael McGrath, another attorney representing Dolton's trustees. There's thousands and thousands of dollars for Amazon purchases, for PayPal, for Target, for Walgreens, for Jewel, Osco, in the hundreds and thousands of dollars. McGrath said that a snapshot of just 5 to 6 months of spending was revealed in the last couple of weeks by Henyard's top aide, Keith Freeman, who is now cooperating with the village's Board of Trustees. Freeman has pleaded not guilty to a federal bankruptcy fraud charge and is considered by some trustees to be a potential whistleblower. She sure did have it before. She probably knew she probably knew what was coming, but yep, she had that before they started calling her out. I say as much because I feel like ever since she even got there, they were calling her out. It says, at Monday night's village meeting, Henyard announced Freeman's termination, though the Board of Trustees insists Freeman is still the village administrator. Henyard has retained a defense attorney, Bo Brindley, who said Freeman put Henyard's safety in jeopardy by removing her security detail. Henyard does not often speak to reporters and let her attorney do most of the talking with WGN News. How did Freeman put you at risk? Asked WGN's Jenna Barnes. He just answered that, Henyard said. Is it that there's speculation that prosecutors are putting pressure on him to cooperate in their investigation into you? Barnes followed up. We're talking about the removal of security detail, Brinley said. This isn't the first time Henyard's safety has taken center stage. Dolton's acting chief of police, Louis Lacey, has implemented capacity limits and metal detectors in the Board of Trustees meeting room, and just Monday night, he made everyone walk back through those metal detectors after the meeting had already started. Dolton's Board of Trustees placed Lacey on administrative leave pending an investigation into his alleged mishandling of the Dolton Police Department. We've requested that he turn in all village equipment by the end of today, McGrath said Monday. And if he doesn't, then we'll seek a court order to enforce the administrative leave. That didn't stop Lacey from reporting to work Tuesday, though. Lacey told WGN News the Village Board of Trustees doesn't have the power to put him on leave. As for Dolton's financials, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is scheduled to present some of the findings of her investigation into Henyard Thursday. I had, I think, two things with Lacey. Let me see. Yeah, this is the one. ABC says Dolton Village Board places top cop on administrative leave and lays off 8 village employees. So we'll look at this one first. Let me change my volume. Ooh, hold on. Let me change my volume.
Board making significant personnel moves tonight, including placing Dolton's top cop on administrative leave. The meeting featuring chaotic moments that have become a hallmark of this village.
The level of the breaching of public trust is sickening.
The meeting nearly ended before it really began, after residents who'd already taken their seats.
You guys have to go through the metal detectors so that everyone is secure in the building.
Were ordered by Mayor Tiffany Henyard to pass through metal detectors.
You're just so petty and unprofessional. How are you okay with that?
In what's become a monthly ritual in this village under federal investigation and facing multiple lawsuits, residents called for Henyard's resignation.
We deserve a mayor that truly cares about our village and not a mayor that sees our village as her personal playground.
At the meeting, which was marked by repeated disruptions and people being let out, the board laying off 8 village employees, citing village finances and limiting village credit card spending. Trustees and the mayor sparring over money.
Speaking to the accounting department, we are in a financial disaster. Sometimes people have to follow the leader, because sometimes the leader is the visionary. It is like quiet.
The board also voting to place Deputy Chief Louis Lacey on administrative leave. Exactly why, the board didn't say publicly.
This is political retaliation.
This heated night leaving many shaking their heads.
Y'all are being hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray.
Oh, y'all could not hear me. Hold on. Oops. Hold on, y'all. I didn't realize y'all couldn't hear me. I still had it on mute. My bad. 1 second. So what I was saying was as Shan said, and I'm going to show it. He reported to work one day after being placed on leave. Like, y'all can't tell me. Y'all can't tell me that I don't have a job. I was laughing. I was on mute, but I was laughing. Hey, Auntie Natty. Okay, so this is when Lacey reports back after his 1 day of being placed on administrative leave. Let me know. Can y'all hear me now, though? I just want to make sure. I don't know how they haven't impeached her yet. They going through the process. Well, the FBI is investigating her, so if criminally, that's probably what would put her behind bars. Okay, y'all can hear me. Thank you. Okay, so this is the one where Lacey came back a day after he was put on administrative leave.
Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will release a preliminary report in her independent investigation into Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard's spending. This comes after the board voted last night to place the village's top cop on administrative leave, only for him to defiantly return to work today. The gray clouds over Village Hall tonight seem fitting, as trustee Brittany Norwood describes the financial woes that loom over Dolton, resulting in the board to vote last night to place Dolton's deputy police chief, Lewis Lacey, on administrative leave and lay off 8 village employees.
We were about $6 million in deficit.
But this morning, despite the vote, Lacey still reported to work after Norwood says the deputy chief claims the board had no authority to place him on leave.
That is not true. So we did a vote on it, and our vote is actually valid at the moment. So we were quite surprised when he showed up at work today. We're waiting for the advice of our attorney to figure out our necessary steps legally.
This is political retaliation.
Embattled Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard responded to that vote last night during yet another chaotic meeting amid multiple investigations, including a federal one into her spending of village funds. Preliminary details in an independent probe led by former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot are expected to be released to the public Thursday. Today, our calls to Mayor Henyard for a comment.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
Have yet.
I done hit the wrong button, y'all. Don't mind me. Hold on. Yeah, Happy Girl said he's impersonating a police officer. Right. Right. Okay, hold on. So let's get that out of here. So that was where he came back to work. Let's see, where are we going? Let me make sure, because I'm trying to keep them in order with the videos. Let's see here. So that was when they got him out. Okay. Okay, so that we just watched that, so I'm not going to read that article over because they literally quoted everything that was said in the meeting. So now we are going to look at this article that says 2 criminal defense attorneys hired by Tiffany Henyard attend Dolton Village Board meeting. Okay, it says it was a chaotic board meeting in Dolton on Monday night, but during that meeting, 2 unfamiliar faces were seen sitting next to Mayor Tiffany Henyard. Fox 32 has learned they were criminal defense attorneys brought to the meeting by Mayor Henyard, who is at the center of a federal criminal investigation. So that's where I was like, if they get it, this is how she's gonna be going to jail. It says, okay, you're out of order. Remove her. Henyard told a resident and then her security. It was another wild night at the Dolton Village Board, with a handful of residents being ejected for shouting at the mayor, who also continues to do battle with the majority of the village trustees. You got us into this mess, and now we're trying to salvage what we can to get out, said Kiana Belcher, Dolton trustee. People who say things about me, I want you to prove it. Like I said, fact versus fiction, Henyard responded. Sitting at the mayor's side in a place usually reserved for the village attorneys were 2 unfamiliar faces. I didn't know them. A lot of board members, they didn't know them either. We didn't know who they were, said Brittany Norwood, Dolton trustee. Fox 32 has learned the 2 men were Chicago federal criminal defense attorney Bo Brinley and his law partner Ed McDavid. The website for Brinley's law firm says results matter, aggressive criminal defense. The 2 criminal lawyers sat next to Henyard the entire meeting and even went into the board's closed executive session. What makes this especially notable is that Henyard is at the center of an ongoing FBI corruption investigation. I thought so. Sorry, I changed my mic. Hopefully that sounds better. Our biggest fear is she's going to use them for her criminal defense attorneys and that the village is going to pay for it, said Norwood, who, when asked if it's appropriate, added, not at all. Of course she's going to try to build the village. Of course she is. In a statement, Brinley, a former federal prosecutor, said, Mayor Henyard retained me to evaluate the board's conduct and identify violations of municipal law. Mayor Henyard is charged with no crime. Brinley says he is not being paid by the village. I don't know. One of them credit cards might be open, Brinley. I don't know. Are you sure? Elisa, I think she got one of those credit cards and this swiper no swiping over there. That's just my guess. So it says, Why are you having a federal criminal lawyer sit next to you at a village board meeting? I mean, all I can say is really, said Bert Odelson, municipal attorney. Odelson, who represents the 4 trustees doing battle with Henyard, says the criminal lawyers had no standing to sit on the board and paying them out of village funds would be illegal. We have a lot of experience in Chicago that happens quite frequently that politicians get indicted, but they don't have the municipality they work for pay for their criminal defense, Odelson said. Also at the meeting, trustees fired acting police chief Louis Lacey and several other Dolton employees, saying the village is bleeding money and they need to reduce payroll. In turn, Henyard fired her longtime village administrator Keith Freeman, who is believed to now be cooperating with investigations into village finances. Okay. So we're caught up there. So now, let's see, what's this one? Okay, we're gonna look at this one, and then we're gonna look at the video, I think, of this meeting. So we'll look at the article, then we'll look at the video. Yeah, she's been swiping, Kim. That's my opinion too. It says scandal-plagued Illinois mayor boots residents from public meeting as town cuts off government credit card. And I just want to see if she says anything different in here. Okay, no, they're quoting the same thing. So we're not going to read this again. So we're going to get to Lori's investigation. But first, we're going to look at, I think I have it in here where we can watch it easier. Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Where she kicks them out. They had to cut them off. They can't pay the bills. I know, but I'm just saying they still have at least 1 or 2. And I feel like we don't know if she got a floater. Or can we say this, Shan? Can we safely allegedly say it ain't coming out her pocket? I feel like it's coming out somebody's pocket.
Kind of drama in Dolton tonight with the...
Maybe not her pocket. Okay. So here's, it says, what is this called? This one is Mayor Tiffany Henyard kicks residents out. So
push to remove some village staff members because of ongoing legal troubles and dire financial problems.
NBC5's Regina Waldrop live in Dolton tonight, where it was another heated meeting.
That is true, and the meeting is just wrapping up right now. At one point, though, it was stopped. The mayor telling the police chief to remove a senior citizen for speaking out.
Okay, guys.
If you do not exit, the meeting will be closed.
It got nothing to do with you. The meeting ain't about to be over, so
Mary
you cannot shut down the meeting.
Ma'am.
This was tonight's chaotic village board meeting in Dolton. No one arrested. The resident eventually leaving on her own. Also happening tonight in closed session, 8 village employees were laid off, including the public works supervisor and 3 code enforcement officers. The village also looking to fire Keith Freeman, the village administrator. The mayor says he's out, but trustees wanted to take a vote. Last month, Freeman was fired from Thornton Township, where he served as senior advisor to embattled Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who is also serving as township supervisor. Freeman's firing comes as Henyard is under federal scrutiny for lavish spending of village funds. She's also the focus of a number of lawsuits. Residents, as always, filled the room sounding off about the village's current situation. The board also approving changes to the credit card policy.
It would only allow for the Director of Administrative Services to use the credit card only on items that the board approves, and it puts a cap on any transaction of $5,000. There was consideration on completely cutting it off, but there are some bills that must be paid, it's most convenient to be paid with a credit card.
So back in April, a majority of trustees voted to hire former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot as a special investigator to look into Tiffany Henyard's spending habits. Tonight, we're told her investigation is complete and Lightfoot will deliver a final report Thursday at 6:30 here in Dolton. I'm live tonight in Dolton. Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
All right, Regina, thank you.
This is a team effort. It's Team Dolton, not a one-man band. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, so what I truly believe, trustee, is that you in particular want to decrease the fines because you got tickets on your house for the high grades.
Wow. No, she didn't. Y'all, she said that the motivation to reduce the fines because that woman has tickets. No. Oh my gosh. Wow. petty much.
Your bushes weren't cut, your grass weren't serviced, right? So you remind me of trustee Valerie Stubbs that put in an ordinance because she didn't want to pay fines on her rental properties. It's the same thing. You guys only pick and choose things that's beneficial to you guys that affect you. But you were talking about this a month ago. You were talking, please, you're going to be removed. You're going to be removed. You cannot just talk.
Remove her.
You're going to be removed. And again, Valerie Stubbs, ex-trustee right there. Her. She do things for self. So that's what I'm saying. You have to do better. You have to do better than what you're doing. Okay, you out of order. You need to remove her. Remove her. Remove her. Y'all cannot be that out of order. Like, come on now. Come on. Come on. Even if you don't like somebody, you can't be that out of order. You have to remove her. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. Please leave. Because you just too out of order. Please leave. You out of order. Goodbye. You are out of order. Goodbye. You are out of order. You out of order. Okay, goodbye. Valerie Stubbs, you need to exit. Valerie Stubbs, you need to exit. Valerie Stubbs, you need to exit. Can we continue the meeting? Come on. I don't know why y'all do this here in Dolton. Any other village, they remove people out. They go. You cannot be that disrespectful. You cannot. We will not take disrespect. Come on.
Okay, if she does not exit, then the meeting will close. If you do not exit, then the meeting will be closed.
You got nothing to do with you.
The meeting ain't about to be over, so
Mary
you cannot shut down the meeting.
Ma'am.
Trustee, stop. 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 All right, Valerie Stubbs, you can go.
We can continue with
No, because y'all disrespect, y'all think it's okay to continue. Did I call anybody? What she just called? What she just say? What she just say? That was out of order. That was out of order. So, I didn't call her out her name. I did not.
You shouldn't call her name at all.
Miss Stubbs.
Okay, it's time to go. It's time to
keep going on with the meeting.
It's time to exit.
The meeting will be shut down.
The meeting is not going to be shut down.
Then people will be able to come back in.
All she got to do is
If
exit.
she does not leave, the meeting shut down.
All she got to do is exit.
He does not have the authority to shut down the meeting.
Okay, goodbye. You can exit. You can exit.
No, she's not leaving. No, she's not I'm doing nothing to him. All right. I'm here because of him.
Yeah.
This is what she shouldn't call her name. That girl, she shouldn't have kept her name out of her mouth. That was disrespectful. That was disrespectful. That's why she let her leave. She wants to start the meeting. Roger, that's what's right. Don't be trying to look like Roger. We're illegal subjects. They cannot get you out this fucking meeting. Lacey is breaking. They are violating your right. Violating the right. They are violating your right. It's the future. My lawsuit just went from 200,000 to 500. Thank you. Thank you. Should not leave. Thank you. They are violating your right. They are violating your right. We don't say
It's just pure chaos at this point. I'm skipping ahead a little bit to them still doing it. We'll see what happens. Goodness gracious. Let me see. Okay, let's see.
We lost out from the last meeting. Trustee, unfortunately, until this young lady gets up, the meeting can't. Oh! All right, didn't the young lady just leave? No, there's a second young lady that needs to leave.
Now y'all going out of control.
Okay, so while they're doing that,
Let's continue with the meeting.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we please come to a happy medium so we can get, we have about 10 more items. Please.
Yeah. That's exactly what they're doing. Silence. We need to continue on. Mayor, can you please order them to?
no, if y'all want to go over y'all stuff, y'all can. We can keep going.
Let's keep going. Okay, well, let's keep going. It's just a matter of they're kind of loud. But we can keep going. They're loud. Okay. No, we not. We gonna wait until it's quiet because you can call the chief back or something and see what's going on.
Do you want to sit here or you want to move on?
We're gonna wait until.
It's not. They
when I have everyone's attention.
So we're gonna sit here until they.
Well, we just want to sit here because.
Trustee, all it takes is this young lady to get up and leave. That's all it takes, and then we can continue.
It's all come from her saying this lady name because she's not said her name. This is ridiculous.
Stand down, Chief Lacey. Right, just go to your seat. Stand down. Okay. They gonna try.
We definitely.
Doe. Yeah.
Okay, it seems as though the young lady has calmed down and everything seems to be in check. Yes. So please, can we resume?
Hey, is that Lacey right there on the left? Is that Lacey that's supposed to be on administrative leave but say y'all can't fire me? Is that Lacey? Oh my God. 4150, I'm done with you and Jay. Trending, where is Chef Don Don when we need him? Right. Here they go. American born.
Trustee Norwood, can we skip to
Hold on 1 second. So let me finish. Trustee Belcher, we might as well sit until we have everybody's attention because. Okay, she's gone. Okay.
Yeah, she done. Back to the meeting.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Different.
Child, that's how it ended. I ended with NBC Chicago 5. Now we getting into, let's talk about Lori Lightfoot's investigation. Child. Okay, hold on. All right. Y'all, the way that she has depleted these funds, I need y'all to understand this math. This is what the title says. The title says Dolton General Fund is now $3.65 million in debt, down from a surplus of $5.6 million when Henyard took office. So when she took office, they had a surplus of $5.6 million that she would have ran through. And then to get them into the negative, an additional $3.65 million. So that's a little over, that's hitting the 9.25 million that has been spent basically, because it was a surplus of 5.6 million, went down to zero and kept going past zero to a negative 3.65 million. Ooh. So it says former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot laid out the preliminary findings of her investigation into the Village of Dolton finances and Mayor Tiffany Henyard Thursday. Village trustees and residents said they've known for years that Dolton is in a dire financial situation, but the results of Lightfoot's investigation is so much worse than they were expecting. Lit up and laid out in cold, hard numbers on a big screen, it appears Dolton's bank accounts are depleted. The village hired Lightfoot to conduct an independent probe into Henyard's spending. Slide by slide, Lightfoot laid out in detail. I'm about to see what that, because they got a little hyperlink right there. The findings from her 4 months of work. As of May 30th of this year, the village's general fund was in a net deficit position, Lightfoot said. According to Lightfoot's documentation, Dolton's general fund balance is now $3.65 million in debt, depleted from a flush fund of more than $5.6 million in April 2022. Around the time Henyard took office. That figure astonished the audience of residents, drawing audible gasps. Cash on hand, Lightfoot said, is non-existent, and Dolton's unpaid bills under Henyard's administration are piling up. She's just spending, Bonnie. American Born says she needs to be in prison. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Right. Amazon, Wayfair, the security detail, the vehicles, the hair. Because I remember there was one employee, I think she fired her. I think I want to say it was like an executive administrative assistant or something. She fired her, and she was telling about how she was getting like billing personal cosmetics and things, I think. Like a personal makeup artist. Tales of a Woman said, my friend has a house in Dolton and she says Tiffany's a mess. We see your friend's telling the truth. We know she didn't spend it on wigs. Kim, she can do better, but the wigs did look a little more hydrated than they started out in her first year. I'm taking back all of my highs to American Born. I see you're an anti-arsonist. I'm so done with y'all. She did bankrupt the village, Drea. Did she? I don't know, y'all. Well, she's already been investigated, so obviously it's that bad. It's now August and she still ain't gone. Right, IPV. Okay, let me see here. So it says, since March of 2023, the village has been unable to pay all its monthly expenditures. Lightfoot said as of June 18th, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved, printed, but not transmitted to vendors. As the bank account balance plummeted, the village's credit card spending on 6 different cards soared last year. There were 9 different domestic trips, including one to Las Vegas, and that's now part of multiple investigations. More than $43,000 in Amazon charges in one day, $8,000 on purchases from Wayfair, and more than $2,000 at Best Buy. These are somebody using. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read how to say it. These are somebody using the credit card and charging these amounts using your tax dollars, Lightfoot said. Village trustees have been waiting for this information for years. Y'all know it took everything in my soul to sit here and stomach this report, Belcher said. $40,000 at Amazon? What a slap in the face. Village residents who have been hammering Mayor Henyard for months were left nearly in tears. It's beyond belief and it's going to take us years. I'll probably be unalive before they get this straightened out, said resident Dan Lee. That's how long it's going to take for us to dig out of this hole and that they have placed us under. And they continue to laugh and lie in the faces of people who don't know any better. 4 months into the fiscal year, the village still has no budget. Lightfoot, who was paid $30,000 for this investigation, said the village finances have not been audited by the state as required by law since 2021. ABC7 reached out to Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who was not at tonight's meeting, for a response, but we've not heard back. Right, that's the face right there, Sweet Jane. Succeeding said the wigs were on other credit card receipts. She had Keith Freeman to use. Keith's wife does not wear wigs. Oh, wow. Wow. I know. That's probably what's going to happen. That sucks. It's not their fault. It's not their fault. Okay. Oh, look at this. Here's the sorry, y'all. I'm not trying to keep hitting that. Here's the slideshow. Special meeting August 8th, 2024, Village of Dolton preliminary financial overview. How many slides is this? Oh, it's 44. I'm gonna let's watch Lori Lightfoot on video, and then if you want to, we can go through the slides. But we're gonna watch Lori do her presentation. 1 second. Well, they're investigating her, so it's the criminal investigation, so it could lead to an arrest, but they're still in the investigation phase right now. Yeah. Oh, before we do that, one other thing, the Attorney General, where's it at? The Attorney General came back about her booting people out and all this other stuff. Can I make this bigger? Trying to make it bigger. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Let me show this too. These are pictures. Let me know if I can say who I got them from, but I got these pictures from a subscriber showing elderly residents having to stand and not be able to get into the meetings. So I have 3 photos total, and it's a collage in each of the photos. So I'll show y'all that first real fast. But the text says elderly, disabled, and handicapped forced to stand and parking blocked for them. Lot and front area cars, Henyard's people who are not residents. So that's them. There's the policeman in the top left. And you see there's one of the residents standing right there. You can see the cars and stuff blocked off, and they can't get into the building. And then, let me see. Okay, I don't know what she said. Okay. 41 Fifth, I'm more mad at the wig selections. The least she could do is be found purchasing non-parched wigs. 41 Fit. Let's see here. Okay. This one says Dolton seniors finally let in. And so as you can see, there's more senior citizens shown in here. There's more of the police officers. And then this last one, it says other elderly and handicapped people standing for over an hour. Dolton seniors finally let in. Police and residents talk about it. Hazards getting through for elderly handicapped people. So there's more residents right there just trying to get into the meeting. Right, Bonnie. Yeah, the more evidence, more time. Hopefully, Kim. Hopefully. Okay, let's see here. So now let's look at this attorney general, because if you were in the last one we did with Mayor Tiffany Henyard, they did put in a complaint with the attorney general about violating the Open Meetings Act and restricting public attendance and comment. So it says, despite the board's numerous attempts at claiming victim status, the Thornton Township Board unequivocally violated the Open Meetings Act. From the determination issued by the Attorney General's public access counselor, the board unequivocally violated Section 2.01 of OMA by failing to make its August 15, 2023 meeting convenient and open to the public. While the board initially claimed the meeting room was at capacity, the board acknowledged in its supplemental response that the room was not at capacity, blaming the security guard. The board's use of an overflow room on August 15, 2023 did not ameliorate the board's improper denial of access to the meeting room. It exacerbated the violation, as there was no valid reason to use an overflow room, and the available evidence reflects that the meeting was not sufficiently audible in that location. It may be appropriate. Lost my spot. I scrolled too fast. It may be appropriate to use an overflow room to provide the public with contemporaneous access to at least the audio of a meeting when the main meeting room is at full capacity and an alternative room with great capacity is unavailable. And that's bolded and underlined. It says, but a public body may not otherwise divert attendees to an overflow room to prevent them from being physically present. This office cautions the board to ensure that there is adequate seating in the boardroom to accommodate prospective attendees at every future board meeting, and to also allow members of the public to stand in the meeting room subject to the room's fire code occupancy limit. Additionally, on the rare occasions that an overflow room may be necessary to provide reasonable access to a meeting, the board must take measures to ensure its meetings are sufficiently audible in that space. So they better have some speakers, good mics. They have to actually be able to hear in the overflow space. Let's see. The board therefore violated OMA by prohibiting Ms. Weedman from entering the meeting room. This office cautions the board to refrain from excluding members of the public from attending its open meetings absent a court order barring attendance. The occurrence of actual disruptions that impede the ability to continue conducting public business or demonstrable evidence of a likelihood of disruptive conduct or a threat to public safety. The board clearly violated OMA by prohibiting Ms. Weedman from addressing its members in person during its August 15, 2023 meeting. The board's established and recorded public comment rules do not state that the board may require public comments to be submitted by email rather than voiced to the board in person. Even if the board has such an established and recorded rule, it would unreasonably restrict the right to public comment and thus be invalid. Public bodies have an express statutory duty to provide members of the public with the opportunity to verbally address their members at in-person open meetings. Therefore, this office cautions the board to refrain from requiring members of the public to submit public comments in writing and ensure that members of the public are permitted to vocally address its members in person at each open meeting and to otherwise fully uphold the right to address public officials. This opinion did cite to the Gurren v. Livingston County Board court decision, which we have discussed numerous times in the past. And there's their official opinion submitted August 5th, 2024. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see what y'all said. Okay. So now let's watch Mayor Lori Lightfoot, or former Mayor Lori Lightfoot.
Can you all hear me just fine? Two of the folks in the back of the room. All right. First and foremost, I want to just emphasize a couple of points that Trustee House and others have made. First of all, thank you to the trustees, to Madam Clerk, to Mike McGrath and Bert Olson. This has been a challenging investigation, to say the least, because we have not received the level of cooperation from the narrative team that I would have hoped. Nonetheless, we've had, I think, a breakthrough that's allowed us to be here in front of you today to give you the information that I know that the trustees for sure and the members of have been seeking for some time. But I do want to emphasize, this is just preliminary. We have more work to do, but as Trustee House said, we believe that it was very important to come before the members of the public so you would have some context for what the current state of your finances are as city government. As has been alluded to, I think there's going to have to be some tough decisions that are made, but you've got to make that with as complete a set of information as possible, and that's what this presentation is intended to do. Our work is ongoing, and we expect to finish with in expedited fashion, but as I said, we wanted to get to you as quickly as possible. A couple of points, just so we're all, I'm not an accountant, and I suspect many of you in the room are not, but we will be covering some accounting terms, and wanted to just make sure that everybody had the same basic level of understanding as we go through these slides. We're going to talk about how the Village of Dolton handles its accounting system. We'll talk about in length, in detail, about the preliminary assessment of the financial status. We're going to go over what we've seen as increasing expenditures since 2021, unfunded expenditures, the current cash status, credit card use. Then we'll do a summary, and then we'll entertain questions from the trustees. So let me just jump right into it. Many of you know that the village, in the same manner as other municipalities in the state, accounts for its finances using what's called fund accounting. That means, that's just a fancy word of saying the expenses and revenues are divided up into specific buckets of dollars, and those funds are what we're going to be talking about. The village maintains three categories of funds: a general governmental fund, the proprietary fund, and a fiduciary fund. Under each category, I'm going to pass it to my colleague, Amanda, who will go into more detail about these.
So within each category of funds, there are underlying funds that are used to account for resources that are for different purposes. The first category, governmental funds, includes the general fund, which is going to be the focus of our presentation this evening. And the general fund is what's used to account for the day-to-day operations of the village. Additionally, there are what are known as special revenue funds. These are specific funds for specific purposes. This includes the motor fuel tax and tip money. The final governmental fund is debt service funds, where the village's debt obligations are accounted for, which is primarily the public bond debt. The final two categories of funds, which we will not be covering today, are proprietary funds, which account for transactions that are more business in nature, operations that should be funded by customer payments. That's the water fund, the sewer fund, and the fitness center. And the final are fiduciary.
Okay, before we keep going, because we're 4 minutes in right now, I have a poll in the live chat to see if y'all want to just look at the slides. Their audio is low, but I don't know if it sounds low to y'all or if it's just fine. So answer the poll in the live chat, just yes or no. You click the little button and I can see what y'all are saying, because they did link the slides, so we can look at the slides, the papers that they're flipping around. We can see how much we understand, because the mic is low. It's so low. Let's see here. Y'all let me know. And you can answer also in real time if you have something longer than a yes or no answer to about the slides. But how are y'all hearing them okay? Because there's no point it's like 20 minutes. There's no point if y'all can't hear them. And they sound a little low to me. So let me know if y'all could hear them on the microphone, okay? Let me know. I see y'all answering the poll too. This whole chat needs to go to Jaya in my chit chat voice, right? Kim especially. You're low. It's low. Kim said yes. She can hear. Okay. I see 2 lows. A little low. Very low. Okay. Let's look at these slides. Sounds low. It's low, but I can hear. Okay. We're gonna look. Let's just pull the slides up then. Hold on. Let's get these slides up. I mean, they made a little graph and everything. I think we'll make it. So let's see. Let's see if we'll make it through the slides. Because this is what they're talking about. So we'll see. Okay. Here we go. I almost feel like a senior NCO again, trying to present some slides. Hold on. Let me make it bigger. How do we want to do this? I guess it's staying the same size no matter how I put it. Okay, we'll leave it there. We'll put it in the center. It's fine. You can hear, but your earbuds are loud. Okay. Yeah, Bonnie, we got visual. Okay, so this is what Lightfoot is flipping through. And y'all got the summary that they went from like a 5.6 million surplus to a 3.6 million deficit. So this is, I guess, from that to show what they're looking at. So this is what they're showing. Village of Dolton accounting, preliminary assessment of financial status, increasing expenditures, unfunded expenditures, cash status, credit card use, summary and next steps, and questions from the trustees. Okay, disclaimer, the information presented here is based on information and records obtained through August 7th, 2024. The investigation and analysis is ongoing and new information may be learned as additional information and records are obtained. I was Air Force, Elisa. Village of Dolton accounting. The village, in the same manner as other municipalities, accounts for its finances using fund accounting. A fund is a grouping of related accounts that is used to maintain control over resources that have been segregated for specific activities or objectives. The village maintains 3 categories of funds: governmental, proprietary, and fiduciary. Village of Dolton accounting. Under each category, there are specific funds used to account for resources designated for different purposes. The general fund is a group of accounts used for the village's day-to-day activities, like administration, police, firefighters, public works. And we already know the firefighters either weren't getting paid or their retirement got messed with, because we saw them at one of the meetings. Then it says the special revenue funds are a group of accounts designated for specific purposes. Example, motor fuel, tax, TIFs. These accounts are restricted and therefore not available for use in day-to-day operations. The debt service fund is a group of accounts designated to service debt, primarily public bond debt. These accounts are restricted and therefore not available for use in day-to-day operations. Proprietary funds are used to account for business type activities of the village and include water, sewer, Melanie Fitness Center. Fiduciary funds are used to account for resources held for the benefit of parties outside of the government and include the village's pension trust funds. Ooh, preliminary assessment of financial status. And y'all did, hey, Air Force. Oh, your husband's 24 years. That's so cool. That is so cool. Yes, Veronica. Come on, Air Force. So I don't know if it's going to say it here, but also there was an article that came out that said they couldn't afford to pay their waste management, like the trash pickup people too, I believe. So it says the village's fiscal year runs from May 1st to April 30th. Certain financial disclosures are mandated by the state to be submitted to the Office of the Comptroller each fiscal year: the annual financial report and the audited financial statements. The village has not complied with these requirements since fiscal year 2021. Okay, son served in the Air Force. Oh, well, Elisa, the firefighters, I think their pension fund is messed with. If it's them, it's probably somebody else's too. It's insane, right? I agree, Israel. She has destroyed these people. It says no annual financial report available after 2021. No audited financial statements available after 2021. Historically, the village has had a very small or no finance staff. John Kasperick Company has functionally operated as the village's finance department. John Kasperick Company has recently produced monthly financial reports from January 2021 to May 2024. Due to the village's failure to file the required annual financial disclosures with the state, these monthly financial reports are the only record of the village's financial status that have been made available. Wait, am I still low right now? Am I still, like, is my volume low right now? y'all, let me pause. Is my volume still low, like currently in real time? Right, 3 years, Bonnie. I'm double checking audio quality before I keep going. Okay, volume's good. Okay. Shan says that's why they can't pay the bills, because the state probably ain't give him no money, because the state gives you your money when you give them your budget and your financials. True. And federal's kind of like that on a lot of levels too. I can see that. Okay. All right, cool. It says, due to the village's failure to file the required annual financial disclosures with the state, these monthly financial reports are the only record of the village's financial status that have been made available. As such, the financial information presented today has not been audited by an independent CPA firm. The village's general fund balance was in a net deficit position, basically negative. The general fund is used to account for the majority of the village's day-to-day operations like payroll and vendor payments. The village's special revenue fund and debt service fund are in a positive position. The special revenue and debt service funds are restricted, basically not available for day-to-day operations. So basically because she couldn't touch it, they're kind of okay. The general fund balance has been declining. So this is where y'all can see it used to be at a surplus of the $5.61 million as of April 2022. Then April 2023, a year later, it was down to just a surplus of $2.66 million. Then April 2024, it was a negative of $3.38 million. And then as of May 24, 1 month later, $3.65 million negative. So it says increasing expenditures. The village's average monthly expenditures have increased nearly 30% from $1.9 million to $2.5 million since fiscal year 2022. And this is where it says general fund average monthly expenditures. So fiscal year 2022, it was at 1.92 million. Fiscal year 2023, it increased to 2.35 million. Fiscal year 2024, 2.5 million. Revenue and expenditures. So the revenue is the blue. The expenditures are yellow. 2022, it maintained its surplus. That's where that, it maintained that the revenue was a little higher than the expenditures. 2023 fiscal year, revenue was only at 24.2 million and their expenditures were 28.2 million. 2024, their revenue 24.6 million, but expenditures were 30 million. Increasing expenditures and general administration. General administration and administrative administrative compensation expenditures have increased approximately 47% since fiscal year 2022. $6.4 million in fiscal year 2022 to $9.4 million in fiscal year 2024. So that's what they have been spending out, from $6 million to $9 million to $9.39 million from 2022 to 2024 fiscal year. I know, that's sad. That's so sad, Israel. Okay, it says within the general administration and administrative compensation expenditures, categories with large increases include, but are not limited to, liability insurance. So first year or 2022, it was 1.16 million, and by 2024, liability insurance increased to 3.2 million. Then other miscellaneous, it went up and down. 245,000 1 year, then it went to 615,000 1 year, and right now, or for 24, is 231,000. And it might be because because it went to fiscal year ended for them in April of this year, so it is a full fiscal year. Okay, it says settlements. They did 124,000 in 2022, 103,000 in 2023, 216,000 in 2024. Legal fees, 389,000 to 555,000, and then down to 393,000. Telephone, 402,000 to 711,000 to 581,000. Increasing expenditures, the police department has increased approximately 21% since FY 2022. from $7.7 million in FY 2022 to $9.3 million in FY 2024. It says within the police department, expenditures categories with large increases include, but are not limited to, overtime. You know, she got her personal security detail. I don't know if that's the only thing, but overtime went from $799,000 to $1.4 million to $1.6 million. Other miscellaneous expenses, and it says we understand from a John Kasparek company manager, all credit card payments are recorded as other miscellaneous police department expenditures. So these are credit card payments. 2022 was at $44,000. 2023, $183,000. 2024, $209,000. Other contractual services went from $90,000 to $248,000 to $382,000. Other professional services went from $89,000 down to $66,000 and then up to $127,000. Medical insurance went from $847,000 down to $799,000 and then up basically $1.7 million. Okay, and then it says we are aware of at least 2 officers within the police department who were paid more in overtime pay than regular pay in fiscal year 2023 and 2024. And they put the officer's name. So Officer Terry Young and Officer William Reed. So their actual regular pay, holiday vacation, and all that was $72,000 for 2023 for Officer Terry Young. And his overtime came out to $108,000 in that same year. So total earnings were $194,000. Then fiscal year 2024 for Terry was $87,000, basically base pay. Overtime was $114,000, which made his pay for the year $227,000. Officer William Reed made $55,000 in the regular pay, overtime $87,000, bringing him to $145,000 for 2023. And then 2024, his pay was $73,000. His overtime was $102,000, bringing him to $192,000 for 2024. Here's Chief Lacey, or as Succeeding said, they called him Potato Head. Acting Chief Lacey overtime pay. We understand that Acting Chief Lacey has not been included in the collective bargaining unit for some time. He has received overtime pay in FY 22, 23, 24, and 25. Amounts through July 12th, 2024. Okay, so this seems low, so I wonder where the rest of the money's coming from, because it seems low. Because FY 22 is showing $39,000, 23 $67,000, 24 $96,000, and then through July 12th, 2024, $12,000. And that the total of those 3.something fiscal year is $215,000. And I know if those other 2 officers were getting paid over $100,000 a year, including overtime, that means the other money is somewhere else for Lacey, because he outranks them. Ooh, MJ said that officer bought him a new house and cars. He living good. Yeah, 2 and 3 tax brackets. Yep. Okay. Unfunded expenditures, checks issued but not sent to vendors. Okay. The village, since March 2023, the village has been unable to pay all its monthly expenditures with its available cash balance. Since that time, nearly every month, a portion of the checks approved and printed have been held by the village due to unavailability of funds. Oops. Per John Kasparek Company's records, as of June 18th, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved and printed but not sent to vendors. The $6 million of held checks does not account for additional monies potentially owed by the village for which checks have not been printed. This includes invoices that have been received by village departments but not entered into the accounting system, My Viewpoint. Invoices that have been entered into the accounting system but have not been approved by department heads and or the village administrator. Invoices that have not been approved for payment by the Board of Trustees. So basically, they know about the 589 checks that total over $6 million, but there's more that just haven't been actually accounted for yet. all the way, like approved all the way. Bank balance. The village has 22 different bank accounts. The majority of these accounts are designated for special revenue funds or bond escrow funds. As such, the funds are restricted and cannot be used for general operations. The police, fire, and IMRF pension assets are held in trust accounts and are not included in the 22 bank accounts above. The village uses one account as its main operating account to pay the majority of its expenditures. The main operating account balance, 2021, it was almost 1.5 million. June 30th, 2024, it was at $715,000, which is a decrease of $777,000. Bank balance. In addition to its main operating account, the village has historically held excess cash in an interest-bearing account managed by the Illinois Treasurer's Office called the Illinois Funds. That account in 2021 was $2 million. June 30th, 2024, it was at $3,900, which is a decrease of a little over $2 million. Cash balances. The general fund cash position, as shown on the monthly financial reports, has deteriorated substantially since April 2022. It went from $4.95 million to a negative $5.68 million. Credit card use. It says we are aware of 6 different credit cards that have been in use at various points in time from January 2021 through at least May 2024. 4 I'm going to say Amex cards that appear to have been used by the police department. Statements associated with these cards were addressed to Ernest Mobley, Robert Collins, and Louis Lacey. 1 Amex card for which statements are addressed to Keith Freeman, village administrator. 1/5 third card for which statements are addressed to the village. To date, we have received some, but not all credit card statements. We understand from a John Casbrick company manager that receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided. Further, we understand that the credit card balance is paid as a matter of course and is reflected in the accounting records as miscellaneous police department expenditures. These payments do not appear on a warrant list and are therefore not presented to the board for approval. We understand from a John Casbrick company manager that the only time a credit card charge would be reflected on a warrant list is if a receipt is provided. Credit card use. While we do not have a complete set of credit card statements, there are some purchases that require further investigation. Some examples of notable charges identified to date are below. Amazon, $33,000. This is for January 2023 credit card statement. Amazon, $33,000. Amazon, $4,700. Amazon, $5,600. Then May of 2023, Target for $454. July 2023, Walgreens, $413. September 2023, Wayfair for $7,700. October 2023 statement, there were 2 Walgreens purchases identically of $505.95. October 28, 2023, giftly.com for $521. And then December 11th and December 23rd, bestbuy.com, $400, $800, $217, and $817. In addition, there are also several charges related to travel, such as Birmingham, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama in March 2023, 5 known travelers. Washington, D.C., 4 known travelers. Las Vegas, 8 known travelers. Jackson, Mississippi, 3 known travelers. Austin, Texas, 3 known travelers. Portland, Oregon, 4 known travelers. Central and Southern Illinois in September 2023, 10 hotel rooms. New York City, New York, 1 known traveler. Atlanta, Georgia, 1 known traveler. Summary and next steps. Cut the credit card, Sweet Jane. Right. The general fund is used to pay the vast majority of the village's expenses. As of May 31st, 2024, this fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million. The village's general fund expenditures have exceeded revenues the past 2 fiscal years. As of June 30th, 2024, the cash on hand in unrestricted accounts is insufficient to cover the $6 million of held checks. The village has no budget 4 months into the fiscal year. The village's financial records have not been audited since FY21. The village has not filed the state-mandated annual report since FY21. Next steps. Obtain additional financial information to better understand the expenditures. Additional details regarding credit card spending, like receipts, detailed accounting records and reconciliations, check registers, detailed accounting of interfund transfers and balances, additional detail on existing financial policies and practices, travel including Las Vegas trips in 2022 and 2023, Thornton Township. And then they said, okay, then they took questions from the trustees. So let's see. We're going to go back to the video and skip ahead a little bit. I do kind of want to catch them gasping when they hear some of these amounts, but now y'all at least clearly know the numbers and what they saw from the slides, and then we can go back and try to listen as best we can. It's low volume. It's just how their mics are. Oh, let me see what y'all said. This is crazy. Why wouldn't you have to show a receipt or obtain receipts or transaction history for and from credit card companies? Good luck with that. I know, right? Yep. Okay, here we go. Well, did she have people helping her? They said it didn't technically have a finance department. They contracted it out, it seems like, to the Kasparek or whatever the name of this was. They gave them the reports because they said they really didn't have a functioning like finance department.
Which are held for non-governmental parties, and that is the village's pension trust fund. So let's jump into the specifics. Many of you know that the village's fiscal year runs from May 1 to April 30th. So it's those 12 months would span 2 years. Certain financial disclosures are mandated under state law that the village reports to the comptroller of the state each fiscal year. Two documents that we're going to talk specifically about are the annual financial report, and you see the citation there, it's a state law, and the audited financial statements. The village has not, and let me repeat that, the village has not complied with these statutory requirements since fiscal year 2021. There's no annual financial report available after 2021, and no audited financial statements after 2021. So what that means is the information that we're providing you has not been thoroughly audited by a CPA, but we do have information coming from an entity that essentially serves as the finance department of the village. Historically, from what we can tell, the village has had small or no full-time financial staff. At various times, even though statutorily there's a provision for a city treasurer, none exists and hasn't for some time. There's a provision for a finance director. There's been intermittent people that have served that role, but that role has been taken as of May of this year, and before that, the person who held the role started working part-time as of the end of December in 2023. So as you can see, given the lean or no financial staff, there's a lot of dependence upon the John Kasparek accounting firm, which is functionally operated as the village's finance department for some time. What we have examined are monthly financial reports from January of 2021 to May of 2024, produced by the Kasparek firm. And as I mentioned, due to the village's failure to conduct an audited financial statement, we have to caveat the accuracy of the information, but we feel fairly confident based upon lining out not only the monthly reports, but looking at bank statements that match up with the information that's in the financial reports. And we had the opportunity to talk to some of the folks at the Kasparek firm who were responsible for managing the finances of the village, and that work is ongoing. As of May 30th of this year, the village's general fund was in a net deficit position, meaning that there is insufficient funds in that general fund. As we mentioned, the general fund is used to account for the majority of the village's day-to-day operations, including payroll and vendor payments. The village's special revenue fund and debt service fund, however, are in a positive position, but each of those funds are restricted funds, meaning you cannot borrow from one to give to the other. And that is what's causing in part the financial crisis. What's next you can see is a graphic that depicts where we started as of
April, where the village started as of April of 22, with positive of $5.6 million in the general fund, and where we are as of May of 2024, which is a negative $3.65 million.
Just kind of as a summary, just quick numbers on the 2-year span, is we're talking about a $9 million swing or $9 million of deficit over that course of time. Would that be?
Turning now to the increase in expenditures of the village. Over the last 3 fiscal years, the average monthly expenditures of the village have increased by nearly 30%. As you can see in the graphic, in fiscal year 2022, on average, the village spent about $1.9 million a month. But in the last fiscal year, that amount declined to $2.5 million. These increasing expenditures have not been accompanied by corresponding increases in revenue. Again, as you see in the graph of the blue bars, the revenues have remained relatively the same over that time period, around just over $24 million, while expenditures have climbed from $23 million in 2022 to $30 million in 2024. Ultimately, in fiscal years 2023 and 2024, expenditures exceeded revenue. Specifically, in 2024, it was over $5 million more in expenditures than revenues. To look further at the increasing expenditures, the table on the screen highlights the 2 village departments that are the main drivers of this spending increase: the General Administration and Administrative Compensation Department and the Police Department. Turning first to the General Administration Department. Turning first to the General Administration line, the increase in expenditures here has grown about approximately 47%. This was around $6.4 million in fiscal year 2022, and it was $9.4 million in fiscal year 2024. There have been increases in general administration spending in nearly every area, but there are a handful that stick out the most. As you can see on the first line, the largest driver of this increase is a more than double change in liability insurance cost. It's gone from $1.2 million in fiscal year 2022 to $3.2 million in fiscal year 2024. Other areas where we see large increases are miscellaneous expenditures, settlements, legal fees, and telephone.
Let me just add regarding the legal fees. These are, everything that we're representing tonight are things that have been booked in one of the general ledgers or otherwise. We know that the legal fees that have been booked so far are underestimated because there are a number of legal fees that have yet to be paid, and obviously with the litigation that's been filed, particularly by vendors who have not been paid, those legal fees will definitely, this is a very conservative estimate of what those fees actually are. Let me drill a little bit down also in what we're seeing so far with the police department. Those expenditures have increased approximately 21% since FY22. Some of that is obviously driven by the union contract and making sure that there's retro pay and that police officers are compensated according to the collective bargaining agreement. Within the police department expenditures, categories with large increases include overtime, other miscellaneous expenses, and I will tell you we don't know exactly what that is, but we're working on unpacking that, contractual services, other professional services, and medical insurance. We wanted to highlight for you, particularly given overtime, what we saw as 2 outliers in officers, Officer Terry Young and Officer Roland Reed. Both of these individuals in the last 2 years compensation. And you can see these numbers here. Officer Terry Young in FY 2023 earned $194,290 total, given the base salary and the overtime. And then in FY 2024, that increased to $227,351, combining the base salary and the overtime. Officer Reed for FY 2023 had a total earnings of $145,450, and in FY 2024, $192,732. We thought it also important, as you know, that acting Chief Lacey has accumulated overtime. It's our understanding that he is not part of the collective bargaining unit and has not been for some time, which under normal circumstances would mean that he is not entitled to overtime. But as you can see here, for FY22, FY23, and FY24, and we're now in fiscal year 2025, through those 4 years, he's accumulated $215,747,000 just to be overtime. Now we're going to move to unfunded expenditures. And this is what we focus on as we move to. We're going to move to unfunded expenditures, and this is really focused on checks that have been approved by the board from warrant lists that come before the Board of Trustees, but held and not sent to the vendors. Based on the records that we reviewed since March of 2023, the village has been unable to pay all of its monthly expenditures with available cash balance. Since that time, nearly every month, a portion of the checks approved and printed have been held by the village due to unavailability of funds. Per records from the John Fitzgerald firm, as of June 18, 2024, there are 589 checks totaling over $6 million that have been approved, printed, but not transmitted to vendors. And that is a big driver of the deficit in the general fund. This over $6 million in health checks, I want to caution, does not account for additional monies potentially owed by the village to vendors for which checks have not even been printed. These categories which we are looking into include, for example, invoices that have been received by village departments, but for one reason or other may not have been entered into the accounting system, which is called My Viewpoint. These invoices have been entered into the accounting system, but not been approved by department heads or by the village administrator. And this could also include invoices that have not been approved by payment for the Board of Trustees. You're aware that from time to time, the warrant lists are presented, the trustees say, pay this, not pay that. Well, those checks that are on the warrant list roll over from time to time. And it probably makes sense just to explain really briefly. There is not a centralized repository for vendors to put their checks in electronically, their invoices, I should say, so that it's automatically in the system. It has to be either hand-delivered or sent via email. It goes to the appropriate department head. Then it's up to that department head to approve and enter those invoices into the MyPoint system. And it depends upon the dollar amount of the invoice, who has final approval for those invoices to make it onto the warrant list. But that's the way the process works now. It will not surprise you that one of the recommendations that we will have when we finish our work is that the village invest in an automated system so that nothing falls between the cracks. The vendor will be able to see real time where is my invoice moving through the system, and you'll know where it sits either with the department head or otherwise.
All right, we'll turn now to discuss the cash status of the village. So the village has 22 different bank accounts. A majority of those bank accounts are designated special revenue funds or bond escrow funds. So the money in those bank accounts is restricted and shouldn't be used for day-to-day operations. I'll also note that these 22 accounts don't include the pension assets. The pension assets are held in separate trust accounts. Most of the village's expenditures each month are paid from one main operating bank account. As of June 30th, 2024, that bank account had a balance of $715,000. As of April 30th, 2021, that account had a balance of almost $1.5 million. So a decrease of over $750,000. In addition to the main operating account, historically the village has held its excess cash in an account known as Illinois funds. Illinois funds are interest-bearing accounts that are managed by the Illinois Treasurer's Office that allow municipalities to earn interest on their excess cash balance. The balance in the Illinois funds account as of June 30th was only $3,900. As of April 30th, 2021, that balance was over $2 million. So the balance of excess cash has dropped by over $2 million in that time period. Monthly financial reports include a summary of the unrestricted cash balances of the village each month. Within these summaries, the balance reflected already accounts for those held checks that Mayor Lightfoot was just discussing, checks that have been issued but haven't cleared because they haven't been sent yet to vendors. What you can see on the chart is that the unrestricted cash balance of the general fund has dropped from almost $5 million as of April 2022, and it is now accounting for all of the checks that had yet to be sent, is now in a deficit position of over $5.5 million as of May of 2024.
We thought it was important to give you a little bit of insight into credit card use by village employees. We do not have complete information yet. It is our hope that we will get further cooperation and be able to have a complete picture of credit cards, but we wanted to share with you what we do know so far. We are aware that over this time period, from 2021 to the present, the village used 6 different credit cards at various points, from January 2021 through May of this year. 4 American Express cards that appear to have been used by various folks within the police department. The statements for these accounts were addressed to Ernest Mobley, Robert Collins, and Louis Lacey.
Mayor, man, I'm back there for a moment. It was former Deputy Chief Mobley is present with us, and our amazing officers on there. There was no misuse or misconduct on that behalf. So I want to make sure I state that because he's a great officer.
Yeah, all we know was what we've seen in the paper so far. We're not interviewed any of these folks to get a better understanding of the specifics around credit card use. We have some knowledge of that, but we'll share that as part of the final report. There's 1 American Express card, which statements are addressed to Keith Freeman, the village administrator, and there was 1 Fifth Third card, which statements are addressed to the village. We've been told that that card is no longer in use. We understand from the records we received from the taxpayer company and the interviews that we conducted that receipts for credit card purchases are rarely provided. Further, we understand that the credit card balance, because it comes due, of course, every month, we all know that, is paid as a matter of course. And it is reflected in the accounting records as miscellaneous police department expenditures. We're looking into what is the reason and rationale for that, but what this means is that these credit card bills that are paid do not appear on warrant lists and are therefore not presented to the board for approval. Again, that will be a recommendation that we make, and the board is obviously aware of this issue, which is in part why it took the action that they took the other day to rein in the credit card spending. We also understand from the Conspirat company that the only time a credit card charge would be reflected on a warrant list is if a receipt is provided, and as I've said, our information is that the receipts are rarely provided. We want to highlight a couple of credit card purchases. You're having the same reaction that we did with this office. So in particular, we were very concerned to see the top 3 purchases that were highlighted for you that were booked on January 5th of 2023. That's roughly $40,000, a little more than that, in credit card purchases on Amazon in the same day. And our understanding is that the village does not have an Amazon account. These are somebody using one of the credit cards and charging these amounts using their tax dollars. We suspect we're going to see, as you can see, expenditures at Target, Walgreens, Best Buy, a number of charges that raise questions in our mind. Are these legitimate purchases using the credit cards? What we've also found in the credit cards, I know there's been a lot of interest in travel, and we've highlighted here on this slide some of the travel that is reflected in the village credit cards. Birmingham, Alabama, and Montgomery, Alabama, in March of 2023 with 5 no travelers. Washington, D.C. in 2023 with 4 no travelers. Las Vegas, Nevada with 8 no travelers. Jackson, Mississippi in June of 2023 with 3 no travelers. Austin, Texas in July of 2023 with 3 no travelers. Portland, Oregon in July of 2023 with 4 travelers. Central and Southern Illinois in September of 2023, I think you're aware of what happened during that time. 10 hotel rooms booked during that travel. Travel to New York City in October of 2023, 1 traveler. Atlanta, Georgia in November of 2023, 1 traveler. On the village's credit cards. And I caveat that because we will, and are continuing to look at, I'll say cross-pollination between the village and the township and the credit card use there as well. So let me summarize for you kind of what we presented, what we found so far regarding the finances. The general fund is used to pay the vast majority of the village's expenses, as you heard. As of May 31st of this year, the fund had a negative balance of $3.65 million. The village's general fund expenditures have exceeded revenues the past 2 fiscal years, ending April 30th, 2023 and April 30th, 2024. As of June 30th of this year, the cash on hand in unrestricted accounts is insufficient to cover the held checks valuing $6.1 million. We are in the current fiscal year of FY 2025, and the village has no budget that's been passed this year. The village's financial records have not been audited since FY 2021, and the village has not filed the mandated state annual reports since FY 2021. So where are we in terms of next steps? Regarding the financial information, there's a lot more work that we need to do, as I've indicated. We just recently got a lot of information in the door that is reflected for the most part in this presentation, but there are other things that we have asked for, and we're hoping that we're going to get further cooperation from the Conspirat accounting firm. Additional details regarding credit card spending and any receipts that might exist. Detailed accounting records and reconciliations, check register, which is important. Detailed accounting of intertrust fund transfers and balances. What we're seeing, and we need to really look at the detail here, is that there is a transfer from one fund, in some instances there's restricted funds, into another fund, and vice versa. Additional detail, we're looking at what are the financial policies and practices in place, and whether or not those need to be changed, updated, or beefed up in any way. We are continuing to look at what happened in Las Vegas. There are 2 trips, one in May of 2022, and a second in May of 2023. And as I alluded to earlier, the relationship and the intermingling of funds and personnel with Thornton Township is something we're very focused on as well. We refer to the trustees.
That was, I was just about to say, woo, child. I was just about to say, woo, child. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Even reading it, but then seeing them react to it. Oh, that poor town. So she's being criminally investigated. It finally got to the people it needs to get to, but it's a slow process. She's still wreaking havoc while they're investigating. Goodness gracious. You know, she even tried to block Lightfoot, but Lightfoot's in there. They did their research. They said more to come, so I don't know if they're gonna have another report in a couple months, a few months, or whatever. But the slideshow was like they're still looking into more things, but I feel like they've gotten the bulk. I wonder if Tiff was watching this like we were yesterday. I don't know her mindset. I don't know. Yeah, like a snail, moving at a snail's pace. But that's everything. We're caught up on Tiffany Henyard because this was Thursday, I believe she revealed this yesterday. So we're caught up right now. Please come visit me again. We do Mayor Tiffany Henyard updates. We do the YSL trial. If you're not interested more in the celebrity stuff, we do those. And I do some other court cases as well. So come on back if this is more your speed. I thank y'all for joining me. Definitely appreciate your company. Right, it ain't staying in Vegas this time. It sure ain't. But I'll see y'all whenever I see y'all. Y'all know I'm going random live for now, but I will see y'all. Thank you for your company. Bye.
I've been taking my time. Taking all your time, taking all